Unbelievable. Unfucking believable. What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Nash here. Welcome back to the channel. So at the time that I'm recording this video, it is Friday, November 5th at 9 in the morning. I had just posted my recent episode of Yu-Gi-Oh's Biggest Issue, which you guys should definitely check out. By the time... Ooh, sorry. Sorry about that, guys. Something got caught in my throat. Anyway, by the time you guys see this, it'll be Saturday. It'll be Saturday, probably in the morning, or probably at noon or something. But we just got breaking news. We got more releases. Now, I'm gonna be honest. Some of these we knew. We knew some of these. We knew it was gonna happen. We just didn't know when. But ironically enough, some of them are former NXT champions. Some are former WWE Women's Champions. I don't even know. I don't have the slightest clue. But this was reported by Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful. Big shout out. Big shout out. No copyrights here. You guys know how this works. Just giving shout outs. Again, no copyrights here. Big shout out to Fightful, he made the announcement that a total of 18 superstars have been released from their contract. Some of them actually signed a new deal literally a week before they got released from their contract. Some of them were going to be repackaged, or I guess have different characters, so to speak. It's just horrible. It's just horrible. Honestly, it's just absolutely nuts. So, you guys are wondering who exactly got released. Well, Scarlet Bordeaux, Frankie Monet, Ember Moon, Trey Baxter, Karrion Kross, Odie Lorcan, B-Fab from Hit Row, Jesse Kamea, Zeta Ramir, Gran Metalik, Lindsay Dorado, Jeet Rama, Katrina Cortez, Nia Jax, Keith Lee, Harry Smith, Mia Yim, and Eva Marie. Some of them were extremely expected, but I'm gonna talk about each of them, and give my thoughts on their releases and whatnot. So obviously Scarlet Bordeaux. Honestly, we knew that if you guys had seen Scarlet, in the ring on the independent scene, then you guys will know how good she was how good she is in the ring. They never, I don't think, as far as I remember, she never competed in an NXT ring. She was more of a manager for her now real life, fiance Karrion Kross, who is actually on this list, which is kind of crazy. But I'm kind of surprised about this one because Scarlett could have done so much in WWE. I feel like this was a wrong move on their part, but at the same time, it's like, maybe it was meant to be. Who knows? But Scarlet Bordeaux, yeah, that was kind of a unique one. Frankie Monet. Here's the funny thing about Frankie Monet. She got signed with NXT earlier this year. Yeah. She signed with WWE earlier this year, and yet she has only had one title opportunity, and that's it. What was her title opportunity? Against the now former champion Raquel Gonzalez. I can't honestly say that I'm surprised, but I'm curious to know how her husband John Morrison feels about this whole thing. But yeah, it was just, I don't even know. But next up we have Ember Moon. This was probably the worst decision ever because she came back to NXT. She went back to NXT last year around the time, I think it was like TakeOver 31 was when she came back. Let's see. Yeah. So TakeOver 31 was when we saw the return of Ember Moon, which was right around mid last year. Now, and so now, fast forward to now, and she's gone. She's a former NXT Women's Champion. She's a former NXT Women's Tag Team Champion. She's had multiple opportunities at the Raw and SmackDown Women's titles. And she literally came back from knee surgery. This one, no, I don't think this was the right move, but it is what it is. Trey Baxter, I mean, he did have a couple of big time matches, but I knew that he wasn't gonna do much in NXT, let alone 205 Live. So it is what it is. Karrion Kross, honestly, I honestly don't know what the hell they were thinking. But if you guys don't know, Karrion Kross is a 2-time NXT champion. He is one of 5 men to hold the NXT title at least twice. One of only 5 men. There's Finn Balor, Karrion Kross himself. There's the current champion Tommaso Ciampa, Shinsuke Nakamura, Samoa Joe. Who's the only person to hold the title 3 times? Samoa Joe. Kross ended up getting drafted to Raw right around the time that he was in a rival, right around the time he was in the rivalry with Joe, when Joe went back to NXT after he had gotten fired earlier this year, which was kind of crazy. For him to be gone, to leave WWE like this was just not the best option. Odie Lorcan, this is kind of an interesting one because with Lorcan now released from his contract, that leaves Pete Dunne and Danny Burch. But then again, Burch and Lorcan had been relieved of their, duties from, under the tree of Pete Dunne, but Danny Burch is now at it on his own if he comes back. When he comes back, I don't know, but he's a former NXT Tag Team Champion. He's had a couple of opportunities at the Cruiserweight title. I don't know, man. I don't know, guys. This one might be interesting. That's an interesting release. Now B-Fab, B-Fab is one of the superstars that has signed a new deal with WWE just weeks before her release, and she was a part of Hit Row. So now with B-Fab released from her contract, where does that leave Hit Row as far as their new as far as their music, their rap careers, and even their entrance theme as well. So where does that leave them? Who knows? Jesse Kamea with Frankie Monet and Jesse Kamea released from their contracts, that leaves just Robert Stone. But we all know Robert Stone's gonna get released anyway, so I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. I'm just gonna be real. Robert Stone may end up getting released from his contract at some point. I've heard rumors that he was gonna get released at some point, but only time will tell. But Jessica May, I think she was in the second Mae Young Classic back in 2018. Got eliminated, I think, in the first round, if I remember right. I think it was the first round, if I remember right, but not much to say about that. Zeta Ramir, she was a part of 205 Live, which is basically a second NXT, so to speak, with all of the Cruiserweight OGs now gone. It's now become a second NXT. But Zeta Ramir, there were a lot of high hopes for her, but now they're gone. That now leaves the Lucha House Party, Gran Metalik, Lince Dorado. Both actually Tributo requested for their release, and I think it was like mid last year, if I remember right. And they were denied of that release, but now they were granted their release, which they were not surprised about. And it doesn't really surprise me as well, given the fact that Gran Metalik was a part of the first and only Cruiserweight Classic tournament, in which he made it all the way to the finals. Lince Dorado, I believe, I think he got past the second round. I think he made it to the second round and got eliminated, if my memory serves right. So now all three members of Lucha House Party are now gone from WWE. I believe Kalisto is now on AEW from the photos I've seen on social media, but still, it is what it is. Jeet Rama, we've seen him on NXT and 205 Live over the course of the last month. My assumption, maybe they were trying to I believe they were trying to give him a major push as far as championship aspirations go. But if you guys do not remember who Jeet Rama is, he was a part of he was in that WWE Network special Superstar Spectacle, which was basically a show which was a pay-per-view where it would showcase the the male and female talent that resided in that either resided in India or was an Indian or had Indian genes in their blood, so to speak, if that makes sense. And Jeet Rama was one of them. Indus Sher was another. Shanky was another one. There were quite a few. There were quite a few, and I think I talked about it in one of my videos earlier this year, because it took place earlier this year. So, honestly, it sucks to see Jeet go, but yeah, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. Honestly, Katrina Cortez, we had seen her on 205 Live over the last month, going up against women like Saray, and also teaming up with women with women like Amari Miller, but not much to say. Not much to say about that. Now, Nia Jax, on the other hand, this is where things get interesting, because if you guys remember, over the course of the last 3 years now, the last 2, maybe 3 years, there have been literally everybody around the world have wanted to see Nia Jax get released for a multitude of reasons. One of which was because of the botch that had took place last year on Raw against Kairi Sane, who is now back home in Japan with her now husband, and she's basically become WWE's Japanese ambassadors, so to speak. So with that, and with the massive heat she got involving Charlotte Flair, everybody wanted to see Nia Jax get fired, and I guess they got their wish. They finally got their wish. But not only that, there have been reports saying that she got released because she did not get vaccinated. You guys know earlier this year we got our the shots, the pandemic shots, I'll say. We're finally released to the public here in the US, and reports state that she never got it. So one has to wonder if this was truly the right move. And in my opinion, I think so, because in my opinion, yes. Don't get me wrong. I was a fan of Nia Jax. Don't get me wrong on that. But the fact that she never got vaccinated and decided to just send people to hospitals, it's a surefire thing, It's going to be non-negotiable. You're going to get fired either way. So, Nia Jax fired. Can't say I'm surprised. I can't say I'm surprised with this one. Now, Keith Lee, on the other hand, this is interesting because Keith Lee is a former NXT champion. He's a former NXT North American champion. He went up against Brock Lesnar in the 2020 men's Royal Rumble match, and became one of the last two. He actually became the runner-up in the men's Survivor Series match, which was between Raw, SmackDown, and NXT. That of which I did talk about as well, which was pretty crazy. In fact, truth be told, the men's match that night for Team Raw, you had Seth Rollins as the captain, you had Kevin Owens, Randy Orton, Drew McIntyre, and Ricochet. NXT had Tommaso Ciampa as the captain, Walter, who was back then still the NXT UK champion, Matt Riddle, Keith Lee, and Damian Priest, who's now on Raw. And then SmackDown, you had Roman Reigns, King Corbin at the time, Braun Strowman, Mustafa Ali, and Shorty G, or I guess now Chad Gable to be accurate. Keith Lee and Roman Reigns, Rollins, Lee, and Reigns were the last three in the match. Rollins was the first to be eliminated, then Keith Lee. Roman Reigns became the last man standing in that match. And there were reports saying that he was in an interview, and he stated that the whole Bearcat thing was not his idea. Apparently somebody backstage wanted, actually liked the idea, and they stuck with it, and that was it. If you guys don't remember, he actually jumped shipped from NXT to Raw right around the summer last year, when we were in the Thunderdome era of WWE during the pandemic. Now everything was for naught. So I don't even know. I don't even know what to say about that. Now, Harry Smith, if you guys don't know who he is, basically he was basically David Hart Smith, if you will. He's one of the offspring of the late great Hall of Famer British Bulldog. He had competed in a WWE match a while back, sometime earlier this year, right after the Hall of Fame, right after WrestleMania weekend, and that was his only match. And I believe he was supposed to. I believe rumor had it that he was supposed to be a producer, if I remember correctly. But this doesn't surprise me. He was released from his contract once before, a number of years ago. So this one didn't really surprise me at all. But we move on to something that really shocked me. Mia Yim. Why did this shock me? This shocked me for a few reasons. Number one, throughout 2021, she did not compete in the main roster. Not once. Her last match, if I remember correctly, she was on, Main Event a while back, and that was her last match ever in WWE. And not only that, but she won the Up Up Down Down Championship from Up Up Down Down's usurper. And if you guys watch Up Up Down Down, you will understand who I'm talking about. But with her now gone from WWE, Xavier Woods has to crown a new champion. So only time will tell. Only time will tell with what will happen next. But of course, shout out to Up Up Down Down. In my opinion, I'm saying it now. In my opinion, Up Up Down Down, greatest video game channel of all time. There, I said it. Don't at me in the comments. Again, of course, too. Shout out to Up Up Down Down. No copyrights, of course. And then, of course, Eva Marie. Lightning strikes twice. This happened before. Lightning has struck twice. The last time she got fired, she became one of the last few superstars to get drafted to SmackDown. She was supposed to have had multiple matches against Becky Lynch during that time in 2016, but wardrobe malfunction, hurt knee, excuse after excuse after excuse, and that's what caused her to get fired from WWE the first time. She came back to WWE earlier this year, right after WrestleMania was when she came back to WWE, and she had brought over Piper Niven, who is now Doudrop, which is weird, which is it is what it is. But she only had a small handful of matches, and when she got attacked by Shayna Baszler, that was basically it. That was it. So with some of these, I can't say that I'm surprised. Obviously, Lucha House Party, Nia Jax, and even Marie. Those I'm not surprised about. Trey Baxter was another one that I was not surprised, that I wasn't too surprised on. But for Frankie Monet, Ember Moon, Karrion Kross, B-Fab, Jeet Rama, Keith Lee, Mia Yim, that kind of surprised me a bit. So, but there have been rumors. There's been rumors going around saying that there could be more releases, sometime this upcoming week. And I was correct. And I was correct. Some of them were let go because of their refusal to get vaccinated. So I assume Nia Jax actually chose not to get vaccinated, which is kind of bullshit in my opinion. But one thing that is for certain is that if there are more releases sometime this week, it'll most likely come from NXT. And one of the biggest names that is being talked about is Kyle O'Reilly with this new and improved NXT. Many people are saying that he doesn't fit in, and there's been rumors that if he does get released, he could go to AEW because of the fact that both Adam Cole and Bobby Fish are there. So we could see the Undisputed Era go to be a part of AEW, which is a possibility, but I don't know. I'm kind of skeptical about it. I'm kind of skeptical about it. We don't really know if he will get released or not, but only time will tell. But yeah, I mean, that brings me to the question of the day. What are you guys' thoughts on these releases, and which release surprised you the most, and which one did not? Let me know in the comments below. And that is going to do it for this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you guys smash the thumbs up button. If you guys are new to the channel, you guys want to see more WWE and Yu-Gi-Oh videos, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so you guys don't miss out on any new content that comes your way. And be sure to follow me on Twitter and Instagram. All the links will be down in the description below. And if you guys have any fan mail that you want to send me and want me to open up on the channel, my address will also be in the description as well. And on that, this is your boy Nash, signing out.